right? So this is tough.
Fair points. Now it's game number 2. Egypt has 1 point. And going back to the thought of Nice just pointed out, the damage needs to be present in Mongolia to fight up against Egypt as their composition will go. Look at that up top. We're seeing a lot of pokes there. We're seeing 2 roams just meet on the mill. But Alpha got a good amount of damage there from Aizen and Forbid.
Again, Alpha having an amazing game. The previous one, game 1 on the Barretts. Now he gets his hands on the Terizla against a player who is well known for his Terizla gameplays, especially on the road here to the WEC. Aizen, a favorite of that hero, will also most likely know how to play against it, right? To the best of his ability. So still, Yu Zhang, one of those heroes that has, in a way, it's made strides throughout competitive MLBB, but it's fallen off to some other picks here lately. Still a great hero, though. Still great kit and option available. And
well, as we see Maro rocking out the Quantum Charge here for its emblem, mostly we see use the focusing mark if you're Akaja, but we don't hold that thought. Okay. Damage going through Egypt. Maro still safe, though.
Oh, wow. He was just waiting for that level 4, able to get the Desmond off. So Maro goes down early on. First blood taken by Mongolia.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Either the focusing mark or even the Quantum Charge right now differs a lot because right now in the mindset of Maro, you want the basic hits to even again regen a bit of a health for you. Looking at the lineup of the early game of Mongolia, you need to have that extra amount of green bar HP just sliding up slowly as you get your hits. But now the focusing mark being again not present in Egypt gives so much way for even Cesar or the Martin to keep on poking them and force them out of their comfort zone. Even their ultimates being used right away.
Yeah, again, I think, you know, in terms of emblems, right, so far, at least for this matchup, you don't see too much out of the ordinary. It's really just kind of who gets these numbers advantage when these fights happen. Aizen already using the Dragon Form, going to push Maro back. Maro does not have Divine Judgment. Ooh, this is great, though. Aizen able to push ZF7's Oda off the purple buff. Meanwhile, Forbid going to be in trouble. Alpha able to pick up the kill. Turtle now going to be worked on. ZX Aura gets it with Retribution. Still going to be working on. Pneuma Blast comes down. Ethan going to be in trouble here. Another kill goes in the hands of ZX Aura. Still trying to help out Aizen. Nice little push off there. Trying to peel for the team. Not going to be enough, though, as he falls. ZX Aura now will get away. Tied across the board, 3 for 3.
Yeah, this was the damage that we're talking about. This is the damage that needs to be present in the side of Mongolia. Utilizing that way of having a great amount of CC in the side of Egypt. Yeah, stolen. Purple stolen by Huda. By Egypt.
Okay. Again, we're at a point, and at least in this game number 2, where it's a lot closer this early on. Yes, it's only 3 minutes in, but so far both sides just kind of slugging it out, right? One thing that you really have to keep an eye on is, again, gold lane, the transition there into that mid to late game. Right now, with Bebex having that early kill, a little bit of a lead here, will kind of help out. Huda already focusing on Ethan here, so trying to poke him down a little bit. Not really expecting a kill just yet, but will go on for Bebex. Going to take quite a bit of damage himself, will fall. Still, the clapback happens here, pushing Maro back. Ethan going to get stunned, a couple more hits they're looking for. Double kill for Easy Petey.
Yeah.
Now the response coming through from Mongolia. ZX Aura, not much he can do as he gets stuck there with that bola. Again, Easy Petey. I was just talking about this, focusing on the gold lane, he grabs himself a double.
Completely. Huda and Maro just wanted to have that edge and using that ultimate right into the turret of Mongolia. Little that they know, they haven't waited for Bid to use that real manipulation and even the ultimate of Ethan. It was just a counter from the side of Egypt to use up against them. And by that, it was just Easy Speedy getting the advantage to get those 2 kills for him. So this is the coverage now, because we're talking about the damage that needs to be present in Mongolia. They wait for someone, or they force out someone from Egypt to make their magic work, because right now for Bid, with the Impurage present, they have folks that it can be utilized to cross their way heading to the mid-game.
Trying to secure this next turtle of the game. Huda going to be in trouble. Forced back by Aizen, just doing his job here. Turtle secured for ZX Aura. Now under the turret, Aizen going to take a couple turret shots. Should be fine as he makes his way back. Smile though in the mid lane, has to flicker out defensively.
Yes, here's what's the problem that can brew for the side of Egypt. The team fighting edge for this one needs to be a bit of a way of penetrating the backline of Egypt. Knowing that Forbid has RWM present most of the time, they kind of want to force out the ultimate out, because there's a flicker and there's an ultimate. But by just checking on these items, this is a problem right now that they could actually be addressed. So they have the Ice Queen one, they have the Blade of Heptases for Brody. By just looking at that first item for Eve is an effective way of caging them in that chessboard. The one that they can utilize to get items for Bebex.
Divine Judgment going to come through. Ethan easily picked off there. This is what I was talking about, right? Kaja locked in. That's what you expect. The Divine Judgment to find its targets, even if it's the roamer, they'll go for it if it's a secured kill. No objectives able to take for them just yet, though. Turtle still under a minute away here. Meanwhile, Ising might be in trouble. Alpha trying to focus him down. He's holding it on.
Whoa,
couple hits away. The flicker is going to come through under the turret. Alpha! Oh! You made a mistake. He falls under the turret.
Wow. Up against Aizen, who also uses that charisma.
Oh, Bebex will fall as well. Solid choice here from Forbid, setting up that real-world manipulation. 2 targets still for the taking. Flicker comes out, Easy will fall. Morrow can't, I don't think he's escaping this one, OSX. Couple shots come through, there's the stun, couple hits away. Forbid, 1 shot! Won't get him!
A slither of HP bar left. Agreement to recall back in the base, and just that. Gold lead slowly going back for Mongolia. Now they're starting to get in with the turrets. By just looking at this, we're looking at 7-minute mark. And as we see the progress of Mongolia now, it's much better from game number 1.
I just can't believe Morrow survived that. It's like 1 hit away, you know? So, again, objective across the board here. Secured by Mongolia, 3 for 3 on the Turtles. Still relatively even though across the board, right, for the most part. You can see fight from both teams. Oh, Morrow gonna be in trouble here. Gonna get focused down, kill secured by Bebex. Now looking for one more.
Well,
Smile
2 dragons.
Takes the dragon as well, but can't fly away fast enough as he falls as well. 2 members down here for Egypt.
Yeah, we have now magic items being, gathered by Forbid. And this is the problem now that needs to be, focused on if this is Team Egypt. Look at the early game, it wasn't a great start for Mongolia, but now they're having more items for this Eve. A lot of things that can just be a rinse and repeat process by just taking on the side of Egypt. You have the RWM now much more, again, it has more sting, it has more damage, and Bebex right now with the Quantum Charge and getting all the items present. Look at that, even in the mid. To get in. Alpha
using the penalty zone defensively will get away. They pull him with the Divine Judgment. Zexora falls after taking the purple buff. So Huda does not have that, but they're able to get a kill here. A little overzealous from Mongolia, but still Egypt holding it as even as possible as they can before that first Lord comes up.
Wow, they're just eyeing on isolated members of Egypt just as this moment. Almost 9 minutes. We have Ice Queen 1 and also the Glowing One present for this Eve. You have Scorch Power, we have movement speed that can easily be a reinforcement once they're happening. Once Ethan gets in for a setup, because right now with a score of 136, all they need is just a setup. With the Valentina present, Egypt can just completely smile to counter that objective. But most of the times from the early game, we were talking about Mongolia forcing a lot of resources over and over again to overcharge the composition of Egypt.
That's what they got to do. You know, if they can put pressure where they need to, whether that's the resources, whether that's in these side lanes, you saw them cutting some of the waves earlier on. That's the best thing they can do right now, especially with the lineup that they have. They should be able to win some of these objective-based fights, right? The ultimates that they have available to them, whether that's the Newman on Blast, whether that's the real-world manipulation from Forbid, they've got the tools. But again, they have to watch out for Morrow. They cannot lose a member this early on, especially now that this Lord is up.
Well, speaking of another objective here that can be taken either from these 2 teams right here. So into the coverage, Mongolia has an edge in waiting for the right time to strike. They have a setup, they have a Newman on Blast, they have the manipulation that can be a greater attack from side of Egypt. Now they're just waiting for them who makes the first step right into this Lord. But look at that, nobody's seeing Nobody's seeing this. Conceal has been activated.
Conceal going to be used. Maro looking for the target, gets the Divine Judgment off. He gets Eisen. Terrify going to come through. There's the Black Dragon form. Will push them back. Alpha a little bit in trouble. Had 3 members on him. Still going to be focused on. Lord will reset. Alpha goes down by the Decimate. ZXOR able to pick up a kill. Numablast going to charge up. Will miss, though. Smile flickers as well. Responds with his own. And they're still trying to follow up on this. Ethan could be in trouble. Has to back off for the team. Bebex with Wind of Nature gets a kill on Easy. Will be able to get away, though, just in time. Cesaro 1 hit away, and he escapes as well.
3 members. Could be a kill. No, Smile is still looking for another way of getting another target from Mongolia, but that was still a safe passage for that team to go back in the base.
How many moments in this game alone has someone got away with just a sliver of health? It's just 1 auto attack is all they needed, but all that, again, Lord still not claimed just yet as both teams get re-situated to fight for that Lord.
It could have been a different scenario. Huda was there, members of Egypt was there, but they wanted to have this discipline to not re-engage, because at most of the times they're trying to feel the power spike now of Mongolia, and they're respecting the fact that we need to have counters, we need to have the tools for this. So with this kind of a time that we're seeing on this game, it's 11 minutes, nobody's taking the first coverage here as they wanted to take on the first appearance of the Lord as it showed up early.
Okay, Alpha trying to get some information here. Pushing them back. Bebex falls. Lord's going to go ahead and reset. A big play coming through from Egypt already. Able to get the gold. A marksman jumps in there. Alpha, though, going in with a flicker. Penalty zone. We'll be able to hold on just a little bit longer. RWM going to come out as well. Eisen there to back him up. Looking for the kill. Alpha falls. Still going to be looking for more. Ethan a couple hits away. Gets the flicker out. And still a bloodbath here for that first Lord of the game.
Completely, that is still Egypt winning that fight. A kill onto Bebex, 3 kills onto this Brody. You would want to have that damage, yes. We were looking at Mongolia rising up to the problems of early game, but in the stages where you enter the late game from minute 15 or later, you need to have the damage from Brody to happen. Because that's the one thing they needed to actually compensate the damage that they're building up with this.
Remember, that's what we said in the draft. OSX was, with the Kaji, you always have to be worried about who is he going to grab. I mean, even looking at the items here, just everything kind of falling into place, right? Relatively gold-wise, economy-wise, it's even, right? But it comes down to those micro decisions, and the fact that Egypt was able to find Bebex before that Lord take, gets the kill, you lose so much firepower if you're Mongolia.
Yeah, he opted for the Blade of Heptasis instead of going for, again, he went for the Blade of Heptasis instead of going for the Blade of Despair from Brody. And this is one thing that he wanted to have a coverage on, because at some points he could get pulled by Maro and Conceal. We heard a Conceal here from Egypt.
Maro gonna go ahead and grab him, get some of the Divine Judgment. They're gonna unleash. No, the penalty zone comes through from Alpha. No follow-up just yet, though. Gonna hold them back. Easy, and a little bit of trouble trying to fight off Eisen. The rest of the team gonna help him out here. 3 versus 1 in the jungle. They finally take him down. The trade for 1-for-1. Lord finally taken care of too, but they will lose that inhibitor turret in the bot side.
Yeah, I am feeling the pull of Eisen, which is how he did. He wanted to pull to Egypt out of the equation in their own team fight. They wanted to take out the damage dealer right in that fight. Because as of the moments that we're seeing, Bebex now has the Rose Gold Meteor instead of going for an additional damage item. This is securing his own way in, again, being in those deeper team fights, because they're lacking the damage. They need more protection this time to even cope up with a setup of Egypt doing over and over again.
So 14 minutes in, we find ourselves relatively even in terms of economy gold. It just comes down to that execution factor. And what we're seeing both teams do is really lead up into that Lord. It's about less than a minute away. So expect another Conceal play to come through here, OSX, from Maro. And it's going to be up to Mongolia to really play defensively against that. They have a lot of tools available to them. But man, right now, it seems like Egypt is controlling things a little bit better, at least picking the right fights, the right skirmishes, and trying to come out winning those. So again, as we lead up into that next Lord take, you're going to see both teams kind of just stay together as much as possible, right? Looking for their own conceal entrance play.
Yeah. And Forbid just got his enchanted talisman just now, but prioritizing the Ice Queen wand, and again the glowing wand, is more likely to proc the Impure Age more in those kind of setups that can be effective for the side of Mongolia. So with this, more mana being present in the late stage of the game could actually be, again, a complete rinse and repeat, but much more faster for Mongolia. With this, they need to answer a lot of damage, but they need to pick who on the side of Egypt.
Again, conceal play going to be used here. Marl going to flicker in, looking for anybody you can grab. Penalty zone to follow up. Ethan trying to flicker around, still going to be able to survive. Alpha now in trouble here, caught in the RWM. He will fall, and here comes Eisen to cut them off. Has the Petri available. Does he use it? Finds a target, pushing Easy back. Easy firing off from the back line. He can't be stopped. It's too easy for Easy Petey. And now they fall here in the jungle, right in front of the Lord. 2 down, plus the flicker from Bebex. This is tough. It's a 2 for 2.
That was a complete tug of war just right there. Being in the front line, Alpha was trying to force out a lot of resources from Mongolia. The discipline, and just by looking at this Reaper, look at that, the penalty zone onto Ethan. But one that they didn't see was Zorba's right in the back, and that pushed Egypt to actually retreat back because of the CC that Mongolia has, and what they wanted to do was just completely be in those team fights so that can be pulled back and forth. And it's just that with the damage and CC that they can bounce up against Mongolia, it was a complete win. Oh yeah.
Okay.
An objective thing, they got penalty zone right onto Ethan.
Lord was taken here. Ethan gonna go down just shortly. Eisen there once again, focusing on Easy. Gonna take a couple shots, has to back off here. And still will be focused on Huda. Now looking for Forbid. Can't get the target he's looking for. Eisen might be next. Still going, and it looks like they're gonna be just fine. ZXora trying to help him out. Couple shots away. Huda! Not able to get the kill. Smile will clean it up though. And the Lord was taken by Egypt, now marching on the bottom side here. It's looking dire for Mongolia.
There's no way of defending this, but it can still be an answer. RWM will be the key here.
Okay, ZXora trying to keep this game going. This Lord, though, still going to be working on the base, and it's Egypt that takes the series in a sweep.
Team Egypt having a great start up against Mongolia, who remain undefeated in the group stages. Wow, look at that. In this kind of performance, heading through the playoff stage, this is a great way of pushing their own limits and also keys and getting the victory out of the challenges that they're heading throughout the playoffs.